All right, you're welcome once again to this live stream. If you're live, I say you're highly welcome as we do this final revision and then treat the questions as they appear here. Remember, you're on with Some Easy World. This live stream is to prepare you for the practical exam you are going to face soon. So we are looking at this past question. This live stream won't take too long, and we will just solve those questions that we're expected to know. Remember how this live stream will go is it is going to go through solving just few questions. Then you will enjoy it if you bring in your own questions for guide. Then we will see the rules, the marking guide, not just knowing the answers, but knowing how to present your answers really matter. Then you also learn how to know your precautions. I hope people around you can hear me. If you are over there and you can hear me, you say hi. Then we will see the rules, the likely questions from number 1 to number 3. Remember, you have to answer. Okay, Chimdindu, thank you. Good evening, you're welcome. So this is Her Majesty's World Science channel, of course. We will do our final revision. You're live watching Glitter, the Thinker. Thank you, you're welcome. So you know how we do it. This one is not going to last so long. The only thing there is that, remember, I'm not too good with physics, and the person I invited to be here with me, the person will present those things, and then we will see the rules on how to write these exams. Okay, then I will go with the first cover page there. This the likely question number 3. The questions are here. As you know how we do it, this is similar to some of the questions we saw. You know that in physics they are just repeating themselves. 3 questions: mechanics, light or heat, and finally electricity. And you will choose 2 out of these 3. That's why it is very easy to score very much high in physics practical than any other practical. Reason is just because of what? Because of the fact that the rules is very simple. Unlike in chemistry, you are not allowed to choose. You answer everything. So what I'll do, Norma, you are going to plot graph, of course. The rules on how to make plot your graph to get your mark, how these things are marked by the exam body, I'll treat them all. Okay, looking at this, it is similar to some questions we encountered some years. I think I will share the years that you have to go through. Now, lest I forget, let me make some things clear in this live stream. Please, if you are live, just like and hit the share button, share for others. I won't be lasting long in this live stream. Now, questions 1 to 3 has been treated clearly. That is, in details, the procedures. Thank you guys for liking the procedures that are required, starting from question 1 to question number 3 in different ways. So to get access to the detailed procedures for this experiment, please just visit my brand new channel, the Majestic Tutorials, or you can just comment. I'll send you the link to that channel. Please, in our next live stream, I believe we'll be live streaming at that channel. This particular channel you're watching is specialized in science, in experiment. Maybe I'll show you the major thing we are specialized with, like a kind of, you see this type of thing, you see this type of stuff, doing experiments in this way. This is electrolysis going on using Hoffman voltameter. So this is not really meant, this is science channel. So I created that tutorial specially now so that we can do what? We can now go there and handle everything tutorials, right? So, and then you see that this type of thing, create your own cell by yourself. You see, I created a battery. This is what this channel is all about. So please go to the Majestic Tutorials and then see the detailed video, I have an expert here who have treated questions 1, which is on mechanics in different ways it can appear. Then question 2, which encompasses the light, that's we can even the manipulation and the real experiment is well explained at Majestic tutorial. If you visit that tutorial, please, if you visit this channel, please help me subscribe. I want to achieve 1.0k subscribers so that I can live stream there, and then I will focus on sciences here. Okay, please guys, let's do this. In that Majestic tutorial, I will handle both art and science. Experts will be coming to teach, but here I will now focus in dealing with science. I'm not joking. This channel is created for science and nothing else. Okay, so but because our people have negative attitude to science, I started now doing some tutorials to lure them to watch. All right, so let's answer some questions here live and direct. Some of the years are here, but only that this what is here is an electric bulb, but it has been replaced with a rheostat as usual. This is a likely question. Remember, it's nowhere close to what you will see, and I advise you read the questions very well in the question paper. Common things you need to know. We will handle the WAEC marking guide, and then how to report your what, how to state your precautions, how graph is marked. So while you are plotting your graph, because every question comes with graph, you are expected to know some basic things while plotting your graph. Okay, so how are these things done? I'll show you all of them in this live stream. All right, so we move on here. Looking at the other one is that we need to plot graph, which I'll show you later. So they just say give one reason why voltmeter is not usually connected in series but always in parallel. This is a common question, but ammeter is always connected in the opposite way. Ammeter must be connected in series and not in parallel. These are common questions that you might see. State the Ohm's law. List 2 electrical devices whose actions do not obey Ohm's law. So these are likely questions. Then state precautions. We will go through those things. Okay, so the the reason why this thing is not connected at all, why you don't connect it in series, is because the voltmeter is never connected in series. Because of what? You simply say because it is actually because of high internal resistance. It is designed to measure what? To measure the potential difference, that's the voltage, between 2 points in a circuit, which can only be done across components, not along the same path as current flows. Okay, it must be in parallel. So voltmeter has a very high resistance to ensure minimal current flow. So one is expected to connect voltmeter in what? In parallel, not in what? It's just because of the high resistance. It has high internal resistance. So maybe I can write down something here before I invite who is already waiting behind to take you all through. So just because of high, okay, this is still in pencil. I think I take it to pen. Okay. High internal resistance. So it will minimize the current flow. The amount of electricity flowing will reduce. Okay. So, and it is meant to measure across components. It can only be connected through parallel. Okay. So simple, high internal resistance, which will affect the flow of current. All right. Then the other one says list 2 electrical devices. Of course, diode do not obey Ohm's law. Then other ones, even filament bulb, do not follow it. So we have filament bulb. These are in your past question. I'll show you the years you go through. Filament bulb, then also your diode do not obey this Ohm's law. Even thermistor and equally light dependent resistor, even transistor somehow disobeys this Ohm's law. Remember what Ohm's law stated. You get prepared that they might ask us this question, but I believe if they do ask us, is a bonus question, right? So the Ohm's law is just telling us that the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the voltage V across it, provided that the temperature and other physical conditions remains constant, such that V is equal to IR. That's the Ohm's law. Okay. Now we are done with this. State any precautions. Let's go straight and listen to this young man that will give us the detailed marking guide, what you must do. Remember, do you see that I'm into this? 50/50 is very possible as far as this physics practical is concerned. It's 50 marks. So somebody that is an expert will now lead us throughout this, where even how to state your precaution. I highlighted what we're going to do. Please remember to visit Majestic Tutorials to promote this channel. Okay, so promote that new and brand new channel either. So but over here you can also stay strong here, because we got some entertaining and interesting what experiments to show you. Okay, some things like this. That is what science is all about. Then for your exams, let's see this young man present to us now. All right.
Hi everyone. I am Anike Steve Kumba. This is Her Majesty Busy World Science channel. We're here to guide you on your physics practical preparations for WAEC. We're looking at the marking guide, the areas you need to look into, and then the corrections you need to make, so that you always score between 48 and 50, which is very possible. Now, I want to look at what the examiner requires from you as a candidate coming for exam. Let me follow the WAEC of 2017. Now, we have the first thing they do. If you look at the question 1 says, measure and record the EMF of the battery. Now, the EMF of the battery, you will write on top of your answer sheet, the EMF of the battery equals, write what you measured. If you use 2 dry cells, then the EMF is between 3.0 to 3.2. If you leave it this way, then you are going to have minus half. In bracket, the examiner will write MU, missing units. But then, if you put V, you have a complete mark. If it's 1 mark, you have a 1 mark. If it's 2 marks, you have a 2 marks. If the student also writes this way, 3. Or another person will write, if you just write 3 like this, without this mark, it will be 0.
Please, if you're online, check the audio. I think is the audio a bit manageable. Can you hear the teachings? If I can proceed, I need to get a feedback. Just type in that live chats. Can you hear the young man giving the wonderful instructions? How is the audio? Okay. We proceed. Please, if you can hear me, you write down something to avoid talking without anybody getting that. All right. Just show me in the comment section there that you can hear me.
No mark for it. The God did not decimalize. Like you say, decimalizing implies that you are admitting the fact that you are afraid. That means you are not God, who is 100% perfect. There is error in whatever human being is doing. That is why we normally admit by putting decimal. So, measure the EMF, you must put decimal and then your units. Then the next thing is the table. We call CT, composite table. It will have particular mark. The highest mark, the smallest mark for every table is from 9 to like 14 marks. for table. That means your table is very, very important. That's the highest for physics practical. For any question, the table has the highest mark. Let's look at the things that will come to our table. It's already here on the board. Look at this. X, V, I, log V, and log I. Now, if a student decides to write only X, V, I, and log V, excluding any of these, then the student will lose score for that column. If, for instance, this column has 2 marks, which it will not be more than 2 marks. On the raw values, you don't get 2 marks, 2 marks. Then, calculated values can be 4 marks. Calculated values, that's the rank values, can be 4 marks. Now, if you decide to exclude this for one reason or the other, the values that read out from the instrument or the values given to you, those values given to you, normally read them out. For instance, if in the X, the length of the rotation, then 20, 30, 40, and 50, they are raw values. You read them out, they are raw values. And then, you'll find out value of voltage, value of current. They are also raw values. You read them out from this instrument, the way they are. You didn't modify anything, that's not all the raw values. The highest mark is 2. Any other value which is derived will not come under derived value. They have higher mark. Maybe inverse, sine, cos, log, and so on. Any other value derived will normally have higher mark. Raw values highest 2 marks. Okay, then at the end of this, there will be an additional mark which they will now call CT. If you recorded everything given to you, you will be awarded 1 mark. 1 mark for recording your table. Then, after.
So this implies that clean work, having obeyed the whole instruction tracks, giving you extra 1 mark. Okay, I hope the rain at the background is not disturbing the audio.
The next thing we do is to go to the graph. The graph. In the graph, we have what we call axis. We have the scale. So, for the graph, I have A, we call it axis. We have S, we call it scale. We have point, and then we have line. This one is minimum of 5, maximum of 6 marks. The axis, what we call axis, if you look at our graph, now I have to plot log I. We are plotting log, which I'm going to say log I against log V. Log I that comes first will take the vertical slot. You draw a line and put an arrow. And they call this axis. Just know that the one that comes first is the vertical axis. That will take your vertical. Then what you do for yourself is to level it. This vertical, I'll now level log I. If it has units, you put bracket and put the unit. If it doesn't have, you do it like that. Draw your line vertical down. Then go to the horizontal. Log V, we do the same thing. We'll still plot, but I'm not showing an example of what we call axis. Maybe this is where you want to choose your axis. You can put an arrow here and put log V. Now, the examiner will come and look at the two of them and mark good here and mark good. There is no need of anybody writing, this is the graph of log this against log this. It's not required in physics practical. It's a waste of time and energy. Even if you write that, this is a graph of log this against log V, without showing the axis here and showing the axis here. Nobody looks at the nonsense written here. What the examiner looks at is the graph itself. If the leveling is not there, then it scores you for answers. If the axis has half mark, if you fail one, then the other one is also cancelled. But if it has 1 mark, if you fail one, you are awarded half mark. And the axis is always, the maximum is 1 mark. Scale also maximum is 1 mark. We want to get for scale. You can come here and write, this is the scale is 2 here to this one to this. Nobody look at what you are writing, it's not important, it's not required. What they want is to look at the graph itself and find out the scale you used. So you don't tell the examiner the scale, the examiner see the scale you used.
So this implies that you writing scale in that graph, it doesn't really make any sense because the examiner will discover the correct scale you used. We will explain it now. So that doesn't mean if you want to write, but there is no mark for that. The examiner will look at your graph and now know the actual scale you're using. So even when what you have written the scale, but it's not rhyming with what is found on the graph. So the examiner will find your scale by him or herself. So that's the explanation over here. Remember to ask your questions where necessary. Please share this video, hit the like button. Thank you. I wish you the best of luck. Let's continue listening to this wonderful guy, an expert. He will soon be here with us live, so you can bring your questions alongside, so he will handle it also. Remember, it's not all about knowing the answers, but also knowing how to present your answers. That is what he's teaching us now, how to mark graph. You had it clearly. That's what we call the axis, the point, the line. That's the line of best fit. So these are the things that gives you mark while doing your plotting. Every question comes with a graph in physics. He also told us about table of values, the units, and many things. So let's keep enjoying. Just remember that the experiments on this year's practical has been explained, the procedures has been done well at my new channel, Majestic Tutorials. Please, I advise you visit that Majestic Tutorial to see. We stopped at 8:27, so you visit Majestic Tutorials to see for yourself these experiments. So these experiments are already there. Just visit that tutorial channel for you to see other experiments done. So looking up here, what is on your screen, you say, for the detailed practical procedure with the whole likely questions, please visit my brand new channel, Majestic Tutorials. Please help me grow that new channel. So you are required just to visit the light, the questions on mechanics, and just know that whatever that you are watching is likely question. But the important thing is that you are taught how to set your apparatus, how all these things are made. In this live stream, we are giving you guide on how to make your maximum score and get 50/50, and also how to report your precautions. Okay, let's go back to the video and continue. Thank you guys for those that are live. Cannot do without you. Much love. Please share to help others. After this, up next is just 5 minutes on how to do your report. Okay, or do your precaution, sorry, because some will be giving instruction to the examiner in the name of stating of precautions. So we move to where we are. We're at the 80th minute.
You can use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can use this. Differences of 1, that's odd number. You can use the odd number. Difference of 5. That means 0, 5, 10, 15. 5 is odd number. Differences. 5 minus 0 is 5. 10 minus 5 is 5. 15 minus 10 is 5. So the odd number scale we are using is 0, 5, 10, 15. Correct? But you don't use odd numbers that will give you a difference of 3. The reason is that if you divide this graph, for instance, from this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. This one costs 2 cm. if you divide this, if you say 3 cm divided by 10, it's going to give you 0.3, which will be very difficult for any student to be able to read in this. That's why we don't use odd numbers like 0, 3, 6, and so on. Now, as you have it this way, that means even if you have 0 points, you can use 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and so on, or 0.01, 0.02, 0.03, and so on. Since the same odd number 111 and so on. Then somebody can also use 0, 10, 20. Somebody can also use 0, 20, 40. But then, if somebody starts with 0, 20, and then writes 30, and then write 40, the scale is not consistent and it's not uniform. Why? The difference between 40 and 30 is 10. The difference between 30 and 20 is 10. The difference between 20 and 0 is 20. So the examiner will come and do like this on the particular axis. It's not a uniform scale. You don't do that. What we call uniform scale is consistency. The difference between two successive numbers must be equal. That is what we call consistency. That is what the examiner wants to know. It doesn't matter what you write here. This is the scale of this, for this, scale of this. It's nonsense, nobody looks at it. They look at what you have done. They check if it's consistent, they mark good. If it's consistent on the vertical, they mark good. And then they go to the points. In your points, they will check the first 3. If you have 5 of them, if you have 6 points, they will check the first 4. If they value, what we call points is, if you are plotting log V against log I against log V, and the first value is, for instance, 0.03, and the other one is 0.04. You want to come to the vertical axis, find out where is 0.04, go to the horizontal, come up where you have 0.04. Is it the same point as what you did? If it's the same point, the mark group, they check 3 more and then mark the rest. Even if you fail the rest, no problem. Once you're able to get 3 for 5 points, then you can have like 3 points, 3 marks on points. And then line can be 1 mark. What do we call line? The short form is line, but it's called line of best fits. Line of best fits. In the olden days, what they normally do is to look at, for instance, come to this graph. If I have the point here, I have a point here, I have a point here, then I have here, I have here, making it 5. Now, in the olden days, what they call line of best fit is, if you have a balance, for instance, if 2 points are outside up and 2 points are outside down, and you are able to take only 1, they say it's balance. In the olden day market, that means if I join this point now, so I have 2 points up, 2 points down. They marked it in the olden days, but now, what we are now marking as line of best fit is, if you have 5 points to connect, you must at least connect 3 points. Once 3 points are connected, you get the 1 mark. It's not line of best fit. You will not get 1 mark for it. If it is 6 point graph, then 4 must enter. Then they give you your 9. Okay, so you can now look at these points from our graph. Now, for now, since we have 5 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you check the 3 that will enter using your ruler. Even if it's just the side that is touched, you can pick it. This maybe 1, 2, 3 can enter. Put it this way. think this is perfect. We have our 1 mark. If your graph is this point here entered, this one entered, and this one entered. We have 2 off. This off, this off.
So what are they fall on in the first one?
Now, in your own best interest, because this year zone, the coordination has not taken place, but based on what we had before, the 3 points ensure that it enters. But then, in plotting of graph, because it is graph that somebody else has plotted, and I look at how the thing appeared, even though during marking, they will not present any graph and say this one is the best one. But as much as possible, when you are doing your, because your graphing, the picture of graph start from the table. You look at your table, you can touch, adjust your table a little, composite table. If you look at difference between 2 numbers are too high, then the second 2 numbers, difference between them too low, you will adjust so that your graphing will not be so wide apart. For instance, somebody can have a point here and come and have another point here. Then come and have point here. This one has fallen off too much, so it's not good for graphing, and it all boils down to your table. Now, after you have done your table, you can adjust it a little, except for number 2, where you submit your traces. It is not number 2 question that go with traces. You can adjust the table, since nobody knows actually what you have done. For this one that is improved, you are submitting this, you cannot adjust it, but you can adjust other one, number 1 and number 3, and adjust them, so that when you are plotting, at least the point will now be closer. And when you are joining the points, you get first fit. Okay. Also.
Okay, thank you guys. For those that are still online, please hit the like button and then share to help others. Remember that where you're going to get the detailed video, the practical procedure, is the Majestic Tutorials, my brand new channel. I urge you please to visit there. Subscribe, help me reach 1,000 subscribers. In our next live stream, we will be doing it live there. Like I said earlier, this channel is science channel. It's meant for science. Sometimes the lovers of science, when I'm uploading tutorials, they get disturbed, and those that love tutorials, when I'm uploading science, they get disturbed. So I have this idea of serving everybody, anybody, the way the person wants. So, and the Majestic Tutorial will handle everything tutorial, both science and arts, but here is the science channel. So I hope you guys are benefiting from the guide by an expert. The person has been marking WAEC physics for years, so he's giving us this guide from experience. I invited him to do this. So please, if this is helping you, just hit that like button. Remember, whatever you see in the beginning of this video is just to help make you watch this, to lure you to watch the live stream. Please, this is not the questions exactly you will see, but they are likely questions. And for these mechanics, I think we are expecting 2010 past years, because they keep repeating themselves. So physics practical becomes easier because most things are just repetition of just the past thing. Okay. Hey, so please guys, I need your help, especially to that channel. That's why I added those videos there, so that you can go there. Like the experiment on the mechanics, the light, how to do the manipulations, how to also answer some of the theoretical questions, different ways, how to, just those things you need to know. Basically was handled by the same young man you're watching. So, but here we are handling the WAEC marking guide and how to do to state your precautions to get the maximum mark. Remember, 50/50 is possible. He has now finished about graphing, how your graph is marked. So I believe if you don't get this, you can still go back and rewatch. I'm wishing you the best of luck. Remember, you are still on with Her Majesty Easy World. The channel we are talking about you visit is this, just the Majestic Tutorial. It is meant to handle most times tutorial, but over here we are handling what? Mostly sciences. Okay, thank you guys for watching. We are going to go back now to continue. Remember, you are on with a scientist, so most of these reagents used for analysis for physics practical, I have and I sell them. So please, you can also contact me if you want to equip your laboratory. If you need projects, science projects, you can visit this channel with time, because we'll be handling most times the scientific things. The tutorials will now be on that new channel. I believe the class is helping us a lot. We need to go back now and continue. Thanks for your time. Thanks for clicking and tuning into my live stream. God bless you all.
S. Under S, we have number 1. It's your tracing. There is one number 2 question that goes with trace. Triangle. This triangle allocated marks to some of them. Before we conclude on scores, we go to the slope. S.
We're now focusing on the slope.
Number 1, we have triangle. This triangle is right angle triangle. It has to be large. Then you get 1 mark, half mark for it. Number 2, change in 1, you get half mark. Then number 3, you have change in x, you get half mark. And then number 4, you evaluate the slope, change in y over change in x, also half mark, total of 2 marks. So slope has the smallest mark, 0 to, but no mark is to be wasted. Now look at my.
Did you hear that? No mark is to be wasted. No mark is to be wasted. Avoid examination malpractice. Why we don't care about all these things? Because we go they copy for us. You are, when you follow this channel as a Majesty's World and then go to the Majesty's tutorial, you are expected to make 50 over 50. It's very much possible in practical physics. Okay. So don't joke with any mark. Slope is 2 marks, and use larger angles. Why doing the right angles? Why doing your slope? Even though smaller angle will give you the same value as bigger angles, but the rule is that you should have to make a larger angle. He's demonstrating it for us now. Let's continue. Let's keep enjoying.
This point, and this point is my graph. This is my graph booklet, log I against log V, and these are my points. Now I want to take the last triangle. So if I take a triangle from this point and then stop at this point, I'll get the same answer as somebody that took large triangle. But because my triangle is very small, though it's right angle triangle, I will score 0 for large triangle. Large right angle triangle. Now what will I do? I will leave this small triangle. Then the thing is that I have to take 2/3 of the entire space provided. Now I'll make my triangle very large, so I will avoid any penalty. Maybe since I stopped here, I can now pick my triangle vertically like this. Just take a big one. I can stop here. Stop here. Stop here. Stop here, stop here. Okay, so that's my triangle. Then changing 1 will now be the upper value here, which you trace and come to this point, minus the lower value, which you trace and come to this point. You write it down. And then come to changing horizontal axis. The highest value this point, when you bring it down, minus the lowest value here, when you also bring it down. That is your change in x. But in the exam, when you are solving it, don't write change in y over change in x, except you are plotting y and x. But if it's log I, you write change in log I over change in log v, equal to write the values minus this there. That's that. Now for each question, remember we said we have 3 questions to answer 2. Each question is 25 marks, each question is 25 marks, total 20. The real practical will take 21 marks. Then the theory part, B. So that's A part of the question is the experiment and precaution. It's 1 mark. Then, how to make it 25 is BI and BII, taken from variety of theory questions related to the experiment. For instance, in number 3 question, we may be asked, define electromotive force, define internal resistance. The likely questions, or they can give you a circuit to find the total resistance in that circuit, since you already have resistance. Or they can say, explain the working principle of potentiometer, since potentiometer is given in this question. Likewise, in number 1, number 2, questions that are related to that practical will be what will come as B1 and B2 formats that will make the entire question to be 25 marks. The other one 25. So any student can score up to 48 and 50 marks. If you score up there, they will give to you. Nobody hides your mark.
That's exactly why you're watching. You're going to score all of them. I wish you the best of luck. If you score all of them, they will give you your mark. So only the best is good enough. All right. So please go in there, follow these rules. When you watch this guide, you now go and watch the procedures. Then I have to be emphatic on read the questions on the question papers and reuse the values given to you in the question paper. Thank God I remembered this. No matter the video you watch, no matter what your teacher have told you, please look at the question paper and use exactly those values given to you. They are called raw values. He told us this. Raw values has their own mark. That you just copied out the values that was given to you. Has his own mark, though it is small. Then these your calculated values has his own mark also. Do you get me now? Like when you have to evaluate, maybe when they tell you L equal to log this, you know how the table is done. So please, no matter what or who you have watched, endeavor not to be deceived by what you have seen before. Rather, look at the question paper, understand the demand of the question before providing their answers. This is the mistake people, most students make. Please, thank you. Keep on watching. Let's keep enjoying before we now go to the way to report the best way to write precautions. You see what he said now? 2 questions. Each question is 25 marks, but the experiment itself is 21 marks. Now, theory gives you the other 4 marks, which is they might ask you questions, theoretical questions around the experiment. So the experiment and the precaution gives you 21 marks, and then the theoretical questions like we started earlier, why is a voltmeter not connected in series but always in parallel? Then why is ammeter connected in parallel and not always in series? I mean, why is it connected in series and not in parallel? They do opposite. So these are the things you are expected to make up the 25 marks. All right.
Remember, your neighbor's work should not affect your work. Don't cancel your work because somebody else is writing this one. What you should make sure is that your table is well written. Where you need decimal, 2 decimal, 2 decimal. Where you need 3 decimal, like your sign, force, use the right values to at least 3 decimal. You ensure you do that. Instead of marking up the normal or the maximum decimal place, let your decimal place be higher than what is expected. You will not be penalized, but you will be penalized when it is lower. Where you are required like a log and somebody stops at 2 decimal, then for this column which has 4 marks, you get 0 for it. Instead of 3 decimal or 4 decimal, you have only 2 decimal. It is 0 score.
So you make 3 decimal places or 4 decimal places for your calculated values apart from raw values. You get that now? It's part of the marking guide. This young man, Steve Chukuma, is experienced. He has marked WAEC Physics for so long. It took me time. Supposed to be here. Maybe this student stopped him, but your questions are not forthcoming. I think the class is very satisfying to you guys that everything is clear. Maybe he did the wonderful job, but I wanted him to back up and stay attend to your questions. What you're going to do for me is just please subscribe to this channel, share this particular live stream, hit the like button, then help me grow this new channel I created. Okay, let's continue. That's it, the summary. I think I was enjoying it so much that I couldn't even know that he has finished. Now, the other things we need to know, some of the years that we have to know very well, like this, I think 2007. When you go to that Majestic tutorial, these things will be explained live to you. So up next is now this. He also detailed us on how to state our precautions. This is just the thumbnail. There will still be a separate video on this. Now, we can show you some things which we started earlier. This what this channel is all about. You can see some entertaining reactions like this. Okay, so you can check up and enjoy yourself. Then you can also start learning how to make make electric motors by yourself. Over here, you see over here, I made this battery. This is Daniel's cell, and he was able to power a bulb. So this is the advantage of staying at this Her Majesty's World Science channel. I will satisfy you with science experiments. And if you go through this channel, you will see most of other experiments. You see, this is just Daniel's cell. Those things you see in your physics and your chemistry. So you see, like that's the electrode. I'm removing one electrode and that is off to show you that there is no battery there. If you insert it back, the light comes up again. So though it took me years for this research, and it's a very simple thing. So science ought to be done. You are watching just because of practicals. If you don't have exam, if they upload anything science, will you ever watch? But I trust you. Let's fall in love with science as it will solve our problem. Certificates will not solve. So let's go back and see this video is available on my channel. Most of them I've already uploaded them, so you can search them and watch. And lest I forget, please, you can also, I have some special packages for us, because when we move on, it's just about 5 minutes and the rules for the reporting of precaution ends. This Majestic periodic table was specially designed for me. You can order one and this place will bear your school name. Like over here, can contain your school name. And also, if you are giving it to somebody as a gift, you can also write on top of that as a gift to whoever you are giving it to. So this Majestic periodic table is more detailed. I can't finish up. I have a preview of that table here. It contains the electronic configuration of all the elements, starting from hydrogen to the last one, the organesium. Okay. So sorry if I'm bothering you with this advert, but they are still all about science. Thank you. Let's go back and finish up while we are here. Next is to see how to.
I have 3 questions here to answer only 2.
Here is how to write precautions. Just listen to him carefully to know the right word to use so that you can get your mark.
The first one, like you said, is liquids. The second one, light. And third one, electricity. You make choice. 2. You will answer. Then let's take precautions for mechanics. Precautions under mechanics. Number 1. Number 1. You say your precaution based on the apparatus given to you, the instruments. We have rulers here, so we're going to say precaution based on ruler. Number 1 here, I avoided parallax error when reading the meter rule. I avoided parallax error when reading the meter rule. If you just say I avoided parallax error without mentioning the apparatus, you score 0 for it. It's 1 mark. One precaution is 1 mark, so a total of 2 marks. The second one, I noted 0 error of the meter rule. Remember, you mentioned the instruments you are using. I noted 0 error of the meter rule. In meter rule, you don't correct 0 error. What do we even mean by 0 error? Look at the meter rule, for instance, sometimes you discover that some part of this ruler has broken off. For instance, if my own ruler from 1 to 10 is cut off, now I want to still use this ruler to take measurements. Since 0 to 10 is cut off, if I start from 11, I'll call 11 my 0. So my 1 will now be 12, my 13 will now be 2, my 14 will now be 3. So wherever you start, you call that 0. You can't correct it, but you take note of it. You can't correct 0 error on meter rule, but you note. So watch the right word to use. If you use corrected, you will not score mark for it. You don't correct on meter rule. You note, you take note of it. Some of you do that in your other small rulers for measurement. I'm giving you two. This is general precaution for this experiment. Just like you say, the questions can come in different ways. If it is oscillation, note very well. If the question comes as oscillation, then number 3 on the precaution, I avoided conical oscillation. Conical oscillation is instead of moving in a particular direction, as if it's vertical, then it will be going round and round. It can even hit the table. And so you say, I avoided conical oscillation. Okay, those 2 is okay for you. We go to number 2 question, that's lights. For lights, we have protractor as the major measuring instrument. Then we take number 1. Precaution 1. I noted 0 error of the protractor. I noted 0 error. Remember, protractor does not have moving parts. You cannot correct 0 error, but you can note. I noted 0 error of the protractor. Number 2, I avoided parallax error. Number 2, I avoided parallax error when reading the protractor. I avoided parallax error when reading the protractor. Number 3, I ensured upright pins. I ensured upright pins. I ensured upright pins. Number 4, I ensured reasonable spacings of the optical pins. I ensured reasonable spacings of the optical pins. The next one, I ensured neat tracings. I ensured neat tracings. Before you can use this one as a precaution, you must look at your work and ensure that your work is very neat, it's not mutilated. Because if you say I ensured neat tracings and then your tracing papers, some things poured on it, some part poured off, there are mutilations here and there, then you fail that 1 mark. And this particular half mark is very, very precious. You don't lose anything by chance. So you may just discard this last one in case your work is not neat. But if your work is neat, you can use it. Remember, it's just 2 required. Then number 3 question under electricity. I'll give you general precaution. Then we'll now look at the rest. Number one, I ensured tight connections. If you don't want to use the this one, another thing that is the same as this number one is I ensured clean terminals. I ensured clean terminal. They are the same thing. So don't write I ensured tight connection one. Number two, I ensured clean terminal. No, the still one, the same thing. Either you use this or this as one. Then number two. Number two, I open the key. I open the key when in readings to avoid running down the battery. I open the key when not taking readings to avoid running down the batteries. Okay, these are the two general instructions. Then now come to the specific ones. That's what I just said now. The two things I said now, general for any electricity question. Then coming to what the likely thing that will come out, since we are given voltmeter, we are given ammeter. Before you write the precaution on ammeter and voltmeter, you check your question where they say read and record ammeter. Then you can write precaution on ammeter. One, let me put it this way, sorry, the third one now. I corrected zero error of the ammeter or voltmeter. Don't write it like I say. What you do is, in the exam, if it is voltmeter that you are asked to use to read something, then your precaution will be, I corrected zero error of the voltmeter. Don't mention instrument that you did not use, that did not appear in the question. Don't use instrument that did not appear. So if you use ammeter, then you can boldly say I corrected zero error of the ammeter. If it's voltmeter, you remove ammeter and put voltmeter. Then I avoided parallax error when reading the ammeter or voltmeter. If you use two of them, you can decide to say, I corrected zero error of the ammeter and voltmeter. I'll just use one of them. If you use two of them during the experiments, I think just choose two out of these numbers given to you. Write it very well. Don't write like somebody in GCE. Some students will say, ensure this, ensure that. You are commanding the examiner. That means you didn't do the experiment. So in essence,
So ensure is what you use for alternative to practical. But when you do the practical, you now start reporting I ensured, not ensure. I hope you are getting him. I think he's loud and clear. So Steven is doing so much well. I need to see your reaction if this video is beneficial to you in any way, because he will be there handling us in physics in our majestic tutorials. Okay, I appreciate those of you that are still online watching from the beginning. We are almost coming to an end, but please hit the like button, subscribe, also share this video. Remember that the detailed experiment and plan has been done at the majestic tutorials. I did this to help for you to help me attend 1000 general online school subjects, but here I'm going to be satisfying you with science, amazing science, interesting. Thank you guys for liking. Keep liking and sharing. Remember, you are the best thing I want to have, because your academic success is my topmost priority. But I love science more than certificates, because science will solve our nation's problem and not certificate. If you go into the exam hall tomorrow, make sure you follow these rules. He will now show us what we mean by correcting the zero error and then noting. He have explained it already, but let's watch till the end.
See, you don't use command. You don't say ensure reasonable spacing or ensure this. No. If you do that, it's wrong. You don't have score for precaution. You will say it as though, which is true, that you perform the experiment. I corrected. I avoided. Then the examiner knows that you actually did the experiment. What we call zero error is if this pointer is not at zero. If this pointer now is not at zero, I can bring my screwdriver, put it here, and then turn this and make sure that it comes to zero. That is what we call, you corrected it now, correcting zero error. It's unlike ruler. You cannot do ruler. If ruler is broken, it's broken. You can't correct it again. That's why I say I noted zero error of the meter rule. I noted zero error of the protractor. But you cannot note here, you correct.
All right, thank you guys. Remember that Emergency Easy World is available for science equipment and laboratory reagents for science projects to equip your lab from the beginning and also give you the basic settings. You contact Emergency Easy World. Of course, discount is there. Both your physics, chemistry, biology apparatus is available. And then I'm very glad having you guys for this live stream. It's been wonderful. Please go there and come out in flying colors. Remember where you visit, see what you are seeing on the screen. So endeavor to visit the Majestic tutorial. I hope to see you there. Please, when you visit, subscribe to help me reach 1,000 subscribers so that in our next, maybe during the NECO exams, we'll be live streaming there direct. I won't be live streaming and be directing you to another place. I appreciate you guys, my followers, the lovers of science, those that have come to learn. God bless us all. Much love from me to you. Thank you.